like a lot of people, I was just like, what's the career that's going to make me the most amount of money? And so I was going to be a doctor up until about junior year. And then I started kind of figuring out that, hey, maybe being a doctor is a lot of work, a lot of school, a lot of debt. Maybe that's not the best way to make money. And so naturally, just like pretty much everybody probably listening right now, you start looking up on YouTube how to make money online. And as soon as you start doing that, you either get in the rabbit hole or you don't. But the people that do are the ones watching right now. So I started watching YouTube videos and how to make money online. And I ended up getting my real estate license the day I graduated high school. I got approved to get my real estate license, went and took the test right away because you can't get it until you graduate high school. So I got my real estate license. I was about to start selling real estate in the state of Washington where I currently live. And I was actually playing basketball at University of Puget Sound in Washington. I went for 1 week and then went to the dean's office and dropped out and asked for a full refund, which I did get, thank goodness, because it was not cheap. And then I transferred to Arizona. I started living in Arizona and started my business out of a apartment there. And all my friends were partying or having fun and going to the pool and hanging out. And pretty much every day, even if I stayed out late, did whatever, hung out with buddies, I'd wake up at 7, 8 a.m. and I'd get right at my computer. I made my dorm room kind of look like an office. So if you go back to about a year ago, you can probably see videos of me on YouTube, whatever. That's actually me literally in a dorm room making videos. So I started the business then, and I ended up scaling the agency to around $60K a month in college. And then right after I left college, when I moved into the house that we just bought, that's when I started the consulting business. So that's how that's sort of why, I guess how I started, but I guess why was really just like looking at the alternatives of like, you either are going to go try and get a high paying career, which I think for some people is like the best option. Like I think like especially a lot of the clients we work with, I'm like, some people just aren't meant to be entrepreneurs. Like there's so much risk and stress involved in being an entrepreneur. And like, I don't think it really ever gets that much easier. Like even when you're financially free, like, you know, I could go live for a couple years and not make any more money and be perfectly fine financially. But every day is still like probably a mental battle that you don't go through as much. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you're working a job where it's, you know, kind of just consistent. Now, obviously jobs come with other battles, but at the end of the day, I think being an entrepreneur is probably like the most high risk and high stress career you could ever pursue. And so it's really not meant for everybody. And it's also not, it's glorified, but it's not better in any way than having a job. Like I think entrepreneurship is just so kind of like glorified to the point where people view entrepreneurs as like better human beings than people that have jobs. And I simply just don't think that's true. I think if my personality wasn't so like almost like ADHD growth oriented to where if I'm not growing, even if I just had a huge like growth spurt in the business or whatever, if I'm not growing, I feel terrible, which is also probably something I need to work on personally. But like, I think that if you don't have that like itch, then there's no reason, like you got to have the itch, because if you're not growing, you're losing. And so that's kind of why I felt like I needed to get into it, was like, I just have this obsession for growth, and entrepreneurship is one of those games you can play for the rest of your life. Basketball was one where I was always trying to grow, but you're always limited. You're always limited by the coach, by the team, by the people around you, and business is something where I get to choose the team. I get to choose who I play with. I get to like hand pick the people that I'm with. I get to hand pick who I want to work with, what I want to do. And there's no ceiling to growth. There's no ceiling to growth in terms of revenue. And there's also no ceiling in terms of growth as a human being. Because the more people I have to lead, the better human being that I become. The more I learn how to manage a team inside of my business, the better I can be for my family. The more money I can give to my family, my parents, the more opportunities and experiences that we get to have. And so that's why I wanted to be an entrepreneur and why I am an entrepreneur. But I also think that in another dimension, working a job would also be like so much easier. Not easier, but so much less stress, because there's so much stress. Like every day there's at least one thing.